Hello, Shemai. My name is Rhiannon White and I am co-artistic director and co-founder of Commonwealth, a site-specific political theatre company based in both Wales and England. I'm a Clore fellow. I did Clore from 2015 to 16. I was part of Clore 12 and I wanted to make this video for you guys to give you the perspective from someone who is running a relatively small, young company, and also give you a perspective from Wales. I hope it's useful. So, for the past couple of months, I have been using my energy to listen, and I've been listening deeply, feeling my way through uncertainty, taking care of the needs of my friends and my family and my community and myself, and putting that at the forefront of everything that I do. It's felt like a really important time to take stock and to ask questions and, where possible, to bear witness to what is happening, to not be too hasty, to understand how our time and our energy and our resource best be spent. Asking the why, who for, why now feels for me really fundamental. And one thing that I would ask and recommend actually is to look for advice from people. So look to advice from people who have experienced life-changing events. So what can we learn from people who have survived long-term illness, or those who've had to leave their country because of conflict, or those who've been long-term unemployed, or those who've come through addiction and violent relationships into new lives, who've experienced isolation and come through it, finding new ways of being in the world. Because I think in there we can learn some lessons that we can all draw on, ways of being that we can learn, resilience. And of course it's not been easy. We've had to make some really tough decisions, like pressing pause on projects, like furloughing staff, like holding momentum on plans, desperately trying to get funds to pay wages, grieving the loss of opportunities and rehearsals and projects and performances, grieving the sense of being together, of creating something, of creating spaces where people realise the power they have. Those are the spaces I miss the most. And all of this against the backdrop of grief, of losing nearly 33,000 people in the UK, across the world. We need time to grieve. And what have I found useful in these times? To treat people like you'd like to be treated, very simple. To be kind, kindness. To practice the art of letting go. And to be anchored in your values. And as much as possible for you to bear witness and spend time dreaming, daydreaming, reimagining what the future could look like. What's the future of theatre? What's the future of spaces where we can be together? How can we reclaim space, take up space, socially distance space, find new ways to perform in the streets, in gardens, in parks? What will our theatre of the future look like? And of course, it's really important for us to realise that culture hasn't stopped because people have stopped working. It's all around us. And as humans, we are continuously creating and making because of it's in our DNA. It's part of us. And I've bared witness to it. I've bared witness to the bingo caller on the street, to clowns performing in people's gardens in West Wales, and to the digital live interactive one-on-one sessions that I've been going to. Feels like as humans we're discovering all the time. And of course the world is turning and change is in the air. Possibility is in the air. And I think one thing is for certain is that the cultural sector will change. And we have to be prepared and be ready. and not burn out. So don't burn out before we need you. It feels for me personally that for too long the sector has been rigid and stuck, hard to move. And for too long the sector has been closed. Might let a couple of people in, but it feels like the doors are really shut tight. And for too long there's been all talk and no action. I've lost count of how many conferences that I've been invited to that have had the same story, the same content about who art belongs to, who gets to make it, how our money's spent, lottery money, not reaching enough people, how pay what you decide, diversity, class, socioeconomics, new community, cultural leadership, youth boards, community steering partners, co-creation, co-curation, collaboration, and all of these things that we talk about that never get moved. Perhaps now is the time to think about how they move forward. Because we all know that through practicing those things, it'll lead to a much richer, wealthier landscape. The art will be amazing. And those issues of inequality might be able to be addressed. But only if we're brave enough. Only if we're brave enough to reimagine what this all could be. So what I would say in these times is to really focus on bearing witness. To watch as culture bursts and bubbles. As it shapes and pushes things in ways that we could never imagine. To bear witness to new artists being born, because out of difficult, hard times comes great art. And they're going to be giving us things that we've not even imagined. New things to think about, new work to stage, new things to develop and grow from, new ways of seeing the world. And this is where the treasure will be. So take this time, as much as you can, to pause and reflect and respond, to really hold tight, because power is shifting and you have to be ready for it, because it's an opportunity, because in the margins is where the best art is made. We know that change is inevitable, so be ready and hold tight and trust the process. Thanks.